Yo, what up, everyone? This is J Fuzz Type Beat. In today's video, we're talking about the time I got caught smoking in college. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So this was my first year in college, as in the college I transferred to. So technically, I was a first semester junior, but I was in a new college, so it felt like I was a freshman, you know? So this was the first 2 weeks of college, Now, the first 2 weeks of college, pretty much the way to describe it was, everyone was just super friendly. Everyone wanted to get to know each other. You know, you have saying hi to your roommates, you're saying hi to people across the hallway. So everyone's kind of getting to know the community around them. Because you think about it, everyone's from everywhere, pretty much, the best way to put it. And everyone's just crammed into a building. Of course, people are going to get to know each other. People are going to start talking, you know. It was a great experience. But, so this was the first 2 weeks of college. I had my roommate. Now, this was dickhead roommate. Everyone knows who he is, or shithead, what we call them. So he had shithead roommate, and this is when he was cool at this point. Now the first two weeks of college, everyone pretty much, like I said, would collaborate and get to know each other and do things. Now this college was on a lake, so you have I think a mile or two of lake shore, and there's like all these rocks and stuff, like a beach area. And everyone would go down there during the nighttime or during the day and just like go in the water or sit there and smoke and relax, you know? Basically, the pretext of the story is we wouldn't be known to go down there like all the time. We would go down to the lakeshore, we'd smoke, we would jump in the water, just relax near there. And I met some friends down there. So we're going to call this one guy Salamander. So Salamander, I met him because I was chilling by the beach. And I was hanging out with my roommate, and he was hanging out with these two girls. We're all chilling. We're just sitting there smoking, and I had like this pretty cool bong. It was like a mason jar bong. So we're sitting there chilling, and this kid walks up, and he's like, "Yo, what's up? That's a real cool bong, man. You mind if can I smoke out of it?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, of course." I'm like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "Oh, my name's Salamander," and he has one other friend with him. So I got to know him, and every single time I came down the beach, I saw he was there, right? Now this kid, super chill kid. Still talk to this kid to this day. And if you're listening to this, you know who you are. I love you, bro. We go down there all the time, and I saw Salamander there all the time, man. Now, this one time I saw him, I'm going down there, and so near this lake shore and everything, this beach, there's a lot of trees, obviously, in the area. People would build forts with, like, the broken down branches and everything. Now, this kid had, like, a massive, like, fort. Right, he built a fort with his friends, and I came over there. I'm like, "Yo, what up, Salamander? How you doing, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, just built this fort. It's super dope." So, a known spot on the beach of this in the first 2 weeks was like this fort, because you could kind of have like you were kind of covered and everything. You're in a little fort, and you could smoke in there. You wouldn't really have to worry about like someone seeing you, someone who wasn't chill with smoking, seeing you smoke. It was just a cool atmosphere in that fort area. Now, that's the first 2 weeks, right? Now, towards the end of the first 2 weeks, now I'm going to describe the day of the story. Go down there. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I met this one kid randomly. I was drinking one night, and I met him like on this guardrail. I described him one time in the story. I don't really know what name we're going to call him. We're just going to call him Mike, right? Mike was chilling on this guardrail, and I came back from the beach one day, and I just sat down next to him. I was high as hell, like drinking. I'm like, "Yo, what's your name?" He's like, "My name is Mike." These two girls with him, and we started talking, and it was just, we were friends ever since that point. Not friends anymore, but. So, I remember this one day, I didn't go down with my roommate, because I think this is when he was chill, but he started to distance himself more, for whatever reason. And I was like, "Mike, you trying to go down to the beach tonight?" Because in the first 2 weeks, like I said, everyone wanted to talk and chill. So, everyone's going down to the beach as a group. Now, the coolest part in the first 2 weeks is people would go in like a massive group. So it wouldn't just be like 5-10 people. No, there's literally like 50 to 100 people in this group just walking down the beach, right? I'm like, "Yo, Mike, you trying to go down the beach tonight?" He's like, "I'm down." Now, this is actually like nighttime, so probably like 8, 9 o'clock, it's dark out. We head down the beach. We're in this massive crowd of people. We head down. We start walking the beach. Man, we stop at this front part. One guy's having a fire. There's probably about like 5-10 people there. I would say about a quarter of that huge group with 100 people, so probably about like 20 people stopped at this one fire. So you start sitting there chilling, smoking, relaxing, doing our thing. You know, we're meeting people. I'm getting people Snapchats. Now, obviously, Snapchat is still big to this day. Everyone's like, yo, what's your Snap? What's your Snap? So I remember, like, after this night, bro, I had, like, at least, like, 10 to 15 people added my Snapchat, which I thought was pretty dope. Just from meeting people and everything. Sitting there smoking. Some people are really scared to smoke down there. They want to go down their room or wherever they want to go down to some kind of secluded area, but we didn't care. We were just sitting there chilling, right? Now, I've always come to the conclusion that if you're in a massive group of people and you're smoking, the repercussions, as in like if a cop catches you, it's not as bad because you're in a huge group compared to if you're just you and your buddy and you get caught. Like, the pressure's solely on you. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make any sense because if I was the only one smoking in that huge group, they would look at me, you know, but whatever. We're chilling down this party, this little, like, fire pit thing at the end of the beach. So we're chilling there for a little bit. We're like, you know, you trying to head down the beach? Because I heard there was more people down the beach. And we're like, yeah, let's go down there. So we start heading down there, and then all of a sudden we see, like, this another fire. And we see a fort, and I'm like, yo, that's probably Salamander down there. So I'm like, Mike, you know, let's meet Salamander. So we go down there. Now, I remember this, best way to describe it, there was 2 massive logs, and then the fort. So imagine the fort is like one bench area, right? It's kind of like there's an overhang on it, and then you got 2 logs. A ton of people are sitting on the 2 logs, and then people are sitting on the rocks, and people start making their own like little like seats or whatever. And then the fire right in the middle of that. So we're kind of in a massive circle. Sit down, and I'm like, meet everyone, hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? And now this was a smoking group. This was people who did not care, which was great because it was like perfect. The other group, people were kind of scared. This group, they don't care. So we're all sitting in like a massive circle. The fire going on. Everyone's chatting. I think someone had a speaker on them. Everyone has like their small little bong out. I have my bong out. I have people passing joints around. So it's just like a smoke session, mass smoke session, and everyone's just getting to know each other. It was super dope. So we're sitting there chatting for a bit. I'd say we're probably smoking for a good like 10-20 minutes. Now I found out later, these kids who were there beforehand at this fire pit were there for a good like hour or two, and they were saying like the beach was like dead, and then all of a sudden like there's a massive crowd that came down. But it was interesting because everyone, like that massive group of 100 people, kind of split off into like 3-4 groups. Because if you look down the shore, you would see like different groups and like different fire pits, which I just thought was so cool because there's just so many people out there, right? Now, I believe this was also a Friday night, and it was known that Friday nights cops are out, right? Cops are going around, you know, they see you smoking, they say something, they take your stuff away, this and that, right? I didn't really think anything of it because, you know, I'm just trying to have fun. I'm like, what's the repercussions? What can it really be, you know? We're chilling at this fire pit, everyone's talking. Next, you know, we have Mike is next to me. He's to the left of me. And there's one kid to the right of me. And it's probably 4 or 5 people who fit in this log. Sitting down, take my piece out. I'm about to load up the bowl and smoke. I remember, now this is when it starts. So Mike's to the left of me, and he pulls out one of his cards, and he has like one of his pens. He screws it onto his pen piece, and he's about to ready to smoke. And then all of a sudden, this guy pops out, and like literally I wasn't paying attention because obviously I'm forward. I don't see behind me where everyone's walking or whatever. I'm just kind of chilling, focusing on my thing about ready to smoke. That's the vibe of everyone. Everyone's just loading up, smoking their bowl, chilling. This guy pops out randomly behind Mike. He's like, what do you got on you, man? And I'm thinking it's like some kid, right? But I'm also like, why does this kid have a flashlight kind of doing that? It's kind of like a little intrusive, like it's a little weird to introduce yourself. Especially that like the vibe before that, student-wise, everyone's just kind of like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, oh, what are you smoking on? That kind of thing, So I immediately had well, who the hell is this? So I look over and actually look at the dude, and I'm like, yo, that's a cop. So I immediately just like, I don't know what I took. Either it was the bowl or something that I took, and I just shoved under my leg. Like, that was my first instinct. For some reason, it's got to scavenge as much as possible, right? Mike is like, huh? What? And he looks over his shoulder, and he's like, nothing. What's your problem, man? And he's like, what do you, dude, are you smoking over here? And you could see, I look up, and I'm looking at him, and I look across the circle, and everyone just starts shoving stuff away. Like, people but very subtle. You can kind of see the movement of everyone's hand somewhere. They're putting in their pockets or putting in their bag, throwing in the bag really quick, because if you throw in the bag, you have a little bit more of a protection. You just zip it up, and they don't know shit. So, plus, they're focused on Mike right now. They're not focused on the whole group. But I'm looking over at Mike, and he's like, well, what are you talking? I don't know what you're talking. Like, he kind of just starts denying it. And then I look over more, and I see there's like 2, 3 other cops. He's like, come on, guys. What are you guys doing over here? Come on. What are you doing over here? And people are like, kind of like saying, like, dude, come on, man. This is our first 2 weeks of college, man. Can you just relax? Let her do her thing. They're like, get out of here. Get out of here. So people start pressing the cops more. Like, bro, who cares? Like, we're going to get up, we're going to leave, like, we're not doing anything, we're sitting by a beach, just kind of all socializing, relaxing, leave us alone. Like, I remember one kid was just speaking up, like, dude, relax. Like, the one kid was trying to, really fight for us and had some valid points. And they're like, oh, do you guys really, and the cops are like, really? Huh? You guys, come on. Really? You guys are really going to start pressing us? And he's like, all right, everyone, leave everything you have and leave it right there. And people are like, what? Like, Mike is like shocked too because this cop is right on top of him. I'm shocked because these cops are like, keep everything where you're at, and everyone's just scared mode. Mike is like, huh, what? And he's like, keep everything you have. And you remember he had a grinder to the left in this golden grinder. He kept it to the left of him. He just left it there. He stood up, right? He stood up, and I'm like, shit. I have my bong in between my legs, right? Now it's a mason jar, so it doesn't look like a generic, glass bong. It's a piece, so I know it's a piece. The cops don't know it's a piece. I have my bowl in me, and I believe my weed and everything was in my actual bag. It wasn't in my lap or anything like that. Or if it was, I was able to shove it into my bag really quickly. That was a slight blur, as in what I had in my bag when I didn't have my bag. But I remember having my bong out, I believe my grinder out, but my main supply was in the bag. Mike stands up, right? Everyone else is kind of freaking out. Some kids just start scattering. Now there's like 4 or 5 people left. Oh, I also had a beer on me too. So I remember I was drinking a beer, but I remember I pushed that to the side where it was like, that's not, you could be like, that's not mine, kind of thing. It was a good distance away from me. This cop looks at me. He's like, what do you have on you? I'm like, oh, nothing, man. I'm about to leave. He's like, what is that? And I'm like, nothing. He's like, what is that? I'm like, well, it's a bong. He's like, well, keep that there. Keep that there. And I'm like, okay, but remember, probably 1 or 2 beers in. Really, that doesn't really mean anything. But I'm high as balls. I'm like, oh, okay, man, yeah. And I remember dumping the water out and trying to put the bong back in my bag. And he's like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, oh, nothing. But I'm not thinking that this is a cop right next to me, right? I'm just so high that I'm like, who is this, right? So I start putting I'm still continuously putting in my bag. He's like, hey, dude, what are you doing? Do you want me you want to get written? You want to get a ticket or something? You want to get arrested? And I'm like, what? And he's kind of like, dude, keep that there. I told you so. And I'm like, not even thinking again, and I'm still shoving it in my bag, right? And this cop is like, dude, one more time, I tell you, keep it right there. And I'm like, all right. So I put it down, and I just zip everything up really quick, put the bong down, I take out my bag and put it back on the floor, on the ground, and I zip up my bag and I stand up and I'm about to leave, and he's like, guys, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. You guys aren't supposed to be doing this. I know this is the first 2 weeks. You guys are having your fun, but get the hell out of here. We can write all you guys up and get you guys kicked off of campus. Get out of here. Right? It's the first 2 weeks. They're really not going to kick you out. In reality of things, if you actually think about it in a financial standpoint, they just got, probably this whole group, they probably got $150,000 from all of us, in tuition this one semester. Bro, they're not going to kick us out. There's no way. There's just no way. But, in retrospect, actually thinking about it. But, so Mike stands up, and he kind of scatters away. Everyone else scattering away. I'm freaking out, because I'm like, this cop's right on my ass, but, I'm not really thinking about it, because I'm so high as balls. I zip my bag up, stand up, and like you said, get away, guys, get away. So, we just leave. Eventually meet up to Mike where, the beach shore meets, kind of the ground area where, the grass area is, and you kind of the exit area, right? Multiple different exits and entrances to the beach. I kind of meet him there, and I'm like, bro, what the hell just happened? He's like, dude, he just took all my shit. I left my bowl there, a little bit my grinder there and everything, but I still have my bag on me. I'm like, oh, thank God, I still have my bag on me. And I remember having a few beers in my bag too. I was like, oh, thank God I didn't catch me that, because that's something you can really press on. And also have my main supply in there, but I left my grinder, my bong. Yeah, that's freaking annoying. So we head back to our rooms. I think I went to my room or his room. and we just started smoking. And we're like, yo, what the hell just happened? So I start hitting up some people on Snapchat, and they start talking about like, yeah, dude, we got caught. Like, we're in a different group down the beach, and they got caught too. Word starts getting spread around that like cops started kicking out people, and they found that. Now this is what someone was saying. We're like, yeah, I heard like they took all people's pieces, like their glass or bong, you know, grind or whatever, and they just smashed against the rocks. I was like, what? No way. They didn't like confiscate it and then just like take it away or whatever, or like just walk away. No, they smashed it because people heard like glass break and they saw these cops like with a flashlight just throwing against the rocks. And I was like, what? Like, no way. Not, just in disbelief. I'm like, you know what? Screw this, dude. I'm not even gonna like. Let's. Who cares about going down there? Mike is like, yo, dude, I forgot my wallet down there. Like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, we're gonna have to head. Like, screw it. We're gonna have to go right back down and face the cops and get your wallet. Because like, he was student ID was in there, you know, his license, and he just came to school. He didn't want to deal with ordering everything. It's like your first week of school. You want your things back, you know, like especially your wallet. A lot of important things in there. So we head back to the beach. Now remember, it's like a 5-10-minute walk to the beach from the dorms and everything. So like it doesn't really matter. But whatever. So we walk down, and I remember this one cop. He's like, "What are you doing back down here?" He's like, "Dude, honestly, I forgot my wallet. Like, I'm not trying to get anything. Like, please, I'm literally just need my wallet." And you're like, cop's like, all right, man. Like, I'm like, dude, you called us already. You have everything I had. Like, dude, I'm literally just trying to get my wallet. And the cop's like, no worries, man. Just do your thing. So we head down, we go back to the original spot, and he grabs his wallet. Now, remember, it's super dark out, and we're like, yo, where did our pieces go? And we start looking around, we see things smashed, but we don't think anything of it. We don't see anything of ours, or like, whatever. Maybe they just took our stuff and like threw it out, whatever. So we head back to the dorms, and we smoke again. We're chilling. That's just like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Remember, we were drinking with these few girls, and then we went to bed. So go to bed. Wake up the next morning. Probably like, I remember I woke up early. Mike would wake up super late. I'm like texting Mike, yo, let's go back to the beach, see if we can find anything. Like, I'm pretty sure like they honestly smashed everything because we saw it last night. He wakes up at like 11 or so, 11 a.m. And he's like, yo, I'm down. So we meet up. Remember, we either got like lunch and then we head straight down. Next you know, also to keep noted, this is like Saturday at this point because that was Friday, so like there's no classes. Everyone's just chilling. And it's also the first 2 weeks. There's like no homework, just to keep that noted. And we go back to the fort area, like the fort fire pit chill area, smoke shush area. We start like, since it's light out, we can actually see everything. We're like, holy shit, dude! They took everyone's bowl and just smashed it. Like, what the hell? And then I look over and I'm like, dude. No, like, I all of a sudden find my bong. I'm like, what? Because it's a mason jar. It's a very distinctive quarter-sized mason jar. And I'm like, what? I go down, and I grab my bong, and I'm like, holy shit, smash. Now, the main thing to keep note about this bong is that it's a mason jar bong. So you can literally just take the pieces from the rubber pieces, that like the down piece, with the percolator and everything on it. That's all rubber and everything. And the top piece of the mason jar is rubber, like it's 3D printed and everything. And the bowl piece and everything is protected in there. Obviously, the plastic didn't break because they threw it against the rocks and the glass is shattering. Like, oh, you're good. Little they know is that I can just get a new size, quarter-size mason jar, and then I have another bong. I take it off. I scavenge the top piece, the percolator, down piece, like everything from the bong besides the mason jar. And I'm like, dude, I'm all set, man. I'm all set. Like, we're good here. And he's like, dude, they took and he found his grinder. Like, he only found half his grinder. I think they took the top half of the grinder and left the bottom piece and just threw it because they knew that people were going to scavenge it, probably. I found the bottom piece of my grinder. I'm like, oh, what dickheads, man. But also, the bottom piece of my grinder, you know, like you lift the bottom piece of the grinder, the 2 pieces of the bottom piece, lift the top piece where, like, the weed kind of stays. You lift that part and there's keef. There's still keef in there, which is, you know, like, a shitty situation, but like I was able to scavenge at least some pieces, you know what I mean? So I was able to scavenge that. Mike finds his bottom piece of the grinder, his bowl's completely smashed. I don't remember now. I remember mentioning that he had a cart, but I don't remember what happened to. I think his other cart pieces, 'cause he had a ton of carts on him, were in his bag. So those never got taken, but I don't know what happened to the one he had out. Like if he shoved it in his pocket, I really don't know. But obviously they pressed me because I was like stupid high as balls and didn't really think about like just leaving the bong there or whatever. We're like, oh, thank God we scavenged everything. Now, that's into the story, right? So we go back to our rooms, we hear about everyone's stuff, and I hit up, I see Salamander later in that day, and I'm like, yo, like, bro, what? Like, did they smash? Yeah, bro, they smashed everything. I was like, dude, I'm able to scavenge. And I show them, like, under the fort area, like, because it looked like they threw everything towards the fort. And then they just threw against the rocks over there. I'm like, yo, if you look over in this area where the fort is, you'll find, like, some pieces. And maybe you'll be able to scavenge, like, a bowl piece or something. He's like, oh, word, man, I appreciate it. I have nothing to smoke out this whole time. I think maybe Mike had a bowl back at his room. So I'm like, I'm kind of, like, pissed off. Like, now I have nothing to, like... No, they smoke out the whole day, right? I forgot this company. Actually, I know this company. It's called Glass Lung. They have like a bong company or whatever. Makes a mason jar bong. So, I don't really know how to go into this. But, eventually, like a few days later, these girls want to get a vape. And I knew where vape was. So, my house is like pretty close to the college. So, I'm like, oh, I know this vape area. And I'm like, hey, this vape area right near my house. So we head over there. I'm like, hey, can we stop by our house on the way? He's like, yeah, no problem. I didn't have a car this time. Go to my house. I had an extra mason jar, the perfect size for the bong. So I got that. I'm like, thank you. We head over to the nicotine store, come back, whatever, right? So now I have my mason jar for my bong. But where the top piece, like the metal piece that you screw on to the top of the mason jar, there's a rubber piece that sits under that. The rubber piece that sits under that, and then you have the metal piece, and then you have like the middle part of like the bong, like where the bowl goes in and everything. That rubber piece that sits around the ring solidifies, like, not solidifies, but it creates so there's no area for air to come in besides like where the bowl is. Completely covers that around. I didn't have that piece. That piece got completely lost in the rubber. So I hit up Glass Lung and I'm like, yo. I literally described the whole shitty situation. I'm like, I'm out on the beach. We got called. My first, I'm junior in college. This whole shit, everything happened. I'm like, I would really greatly appreciate if you guys can send like the rubber piece over. I know you can't order it, but I've had many people order from you guys' website. Just kind of like, please, can you just send this one piece? I get a reply later in the day, and they're like, yeah, no problem. We got you. And I'm like, holy shit. Literally came the next day. They had 1 day shipping. Now, granted, this is like a $1.50 piece, but that makes the bong operate, right? They're like, yeah, no problem, we've been there. Super dope company, man. Shout out. I am not sponsored with them, but they're pretty dope. And I'm like, holy shit. So after this whole city situation, I was able to scavenge at least my bong because I'm a smart kid, and I had like the bong you could if it breaks, you can get another one for it, right? Because it's a mason jar. But a lot of people lost their pieces. But that was the night I got caught by campus police. It was pretty shitty. Now, is there anything I could teach you? Is, maybe don't smoke in like on a public beach on campus, because you're most likely to be cops within the first 2 weeks. And there's always, cops know what's up. They know where people smoke. So eventually find an area where you maybe can smoke and not get caught, or have a system in your room where you don't get caught, right? Also keep noted that there wasn't an area where no one really smoked at. I found out it was a secret area in the parking lot, like this kind of wooded area in the parking lot that we go down to all the time, and you would barely see anyone there. We got caught one time because some kid snitched on us, but besides that, that was a spot that we always smoked at moving forward. That is the time I got caught in college smoking on the beach. It's pretty shitty, and the cops, screw you guys. I'm like, remember this one. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to end the video here, but I remember this one guy was like, dude, I know your daughter's smoking right now, man. Why are you going to throw our pieces away? And the cop got really pissed. Like, dude, I know your daughter's right now smoking a fat bowl right now. It's like dissing the cop. And the cop's like, all right, guys. Like, that's when he really put the pedal on. Like, okay, guys, get the hell out of here. But that's the time I got caught in college. I said that like 5 times now. Anything I can teach you guys, like I said, know where to smoke, know what to do. Cover your tracks, have fun. Those experiences definitely, create a story right now, So those are fun times at college. Hope everyone have a wonderful day.